Hey guys, VideoJames, and we're back with Dragon's Rise of Berk. They updated the game again, so now it's not really a seasonal update, but it was more like a 4th of July / anniversary update. So we got a lot more stuff actually, but the first thing I want to go over is I changed the layout of my island. So now I got a lot more dragons. Like you can see here, I've got the Lavender Skrill that came out a while ago. I've still got almost all my old ones, but I did get a lot more speed stingers. That now I have a lot more speed stingers. I've got the icebreaker that I had a while ago. I've got the regular speed stinger, and I've also got the alpha. So I like that. And I got like a little island just full of speed stingers, and there's going to be another one where the wind striker is, this little long neck looking guy. There's going to be another speed stinger where he's at, but the reason I have so many dragons out, actually, you'll see now that I've got a lot more dragons out than I used to be able to have, is that they updated the storage space for the islands. So I think they actually got kind of tired of people complaining how there wasn't really enough storage space. So they actually updated the space on the islands to where you can have more dragons, that it went from 30 to 35. Which is actually good, because with this game, after you hit a certain level, it kind of taps out on buildings. That with Meat Hall, I'm almost at the max level, so I've almost run out of buildings that I can get. I've only got like 3 or 4 more that I can actually get, and then it'll be completely full up. But then we see that even with all of those buildings, that we still have a lot of space left over. That even with all of the dragons we've got on the islands, that we've still got a lot of space left for buildings and whatever. So they kind of introduced the expanded space for placing dragons on Berk as a kind of way to actually let you take up more space on your islands, as well as to actually be able to have more dragons, which is cool, because it actually let me be able to take like 5 or 6 dragons out of my hangar and put them on Berk, and then it actually freed up space in here. And I did actually upgrade the hangar a lot, because I managed to get a lot of runes from the card packs and the monthly calendar. By the way, that is still working, and it actually did get an update, which I'll talk about later. But you can see now that I've got room for like 120 dragons, which is actually very useful now, because I think there's like 300 in the game now, but no one can possibly have every single one of them, unless they pay like $50 million, and that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you could do the get free thing for the runes, but that's just no. And then we see they changed the free rune place over here again, so now it's just a little horn, which I kind of don't like. I kind of honestly like the little Eruptodon statue and the ice sculpture a lot better, and this one seems kind of just really basic and not really that much of a great detail. I mean, if they were going to put something else, I would have put like a stone statue of something instead of just a horn, because I think they don't really have another horn anywhere else. But that was one of the things I liked, was that they didn't have everything from the show, but they just had enough. And we actually do see that the monthly calendar now, instead of it being 24 days like it used to be, it's actually 30 days now. So it's like a full 30-day collection system. You can just get 30 days worth of stuff, and you'll actually be able to get a lot more, which is actually really helpful. And they updated the amount of resources that it gives out too. So now it's like we've got 100, 125, and 150 runes that we can get just from the rune days. And we've got a lot more of those coins, which is, again, very helpful, because a lot of people did have kind of very lackluster when it came to getting actual resources. But they also updated the defending thing, so now there's actually a different sort of defending called the Berk Brawlers thing. And this is basically like the regular battle feature, except that instead of there being 1 round, there's now 3. So we're actually going to go into that in a minute, but you can see they kind of downgraded some of the dragons again, that some of the stuff that I have went back down, that he's level 9 again, he's level 17, my Stormcutter actually got buffed to level 15, my Skrill got knocked back down to 13, and I don't know why they're knocking stuff down, because a lot of it isn't very overpowered. A lot of the dragons in the game are actually very weak, but they didn't really introduce anything new, and I kind of feel like that is slowing the game down a little bit. That this one is actually kind of slowing the game down. That I feel like if they introduced like a few of the regular dragons that are like searchable or that have been introduced for a while, if you could use them, then the game would kind of speed up a little, because without the time limit and without the actual, well, unlimited selection of dragons, that we have a limited selection of dragons and they all kind of do the same thing, it kind of slows the game down a lot, because you already know what's going to happen and you can't really do anything to make the game go faster, and it's just, oh, this is not really getting anywhere because I already know what's happening and I already know what's going to go on. But they did actually introduce this feature, so I'm going to actually go into it and show you guys what this is actually like. So instead of us having one single solitary fight in this mode, we actually get 3. So unlike the other one, the regular just brawling feature, we now actually have 3 rounds. I'm going to turn down the volume on this a little bit because that's kind of loud. But you'll see they still kept the evasion feature, so they kind of kept that around. And it does actually try and keep this mode balanced. That this mode is actually a lot more balanced than the actual brawling mode. And I feel like that's a good move on Ludia's part. That they actually made it to where the game is still fair, but it's kind of still a little bit slow, in my opinion, because there's still 3 rounds. Like, when you start this feature out, there's 1 round, and then it goes up to 2 at some point, and then up to 3. And it is kind of a little bit slow. I wish they would kind of make a way to speed it up, like introducing new dragons that are a little bit more powerful, or buffing some of the old dragons, or nerfing some of the new ones. But I still really like this part of the feature. Well, this part of the game. That this part is kind of entertaining at some points, but it's also a little slow at other parts. But they did still keep a lot of the old mechanics, like the evasion they kept around. And I actually figured out what that little triangle thing means. So what that means is that there's a weakness feature implemented. So I didn't know this in the last update, but they implemented a weakness feature to where now certain dragons will be weak to certain other types. Like, my cunning dragons are weak to this, I forget what one that was. But the Stormcutter is strong against Cloudjumper, the Skrill is weak against Soaring Sidekick, etc., etc. So they did actually do a lot with this game to kind of speed it up a little bit, but it still is slow. That they did introduce the actual attack speed up button, as well as the actual introduction of a few new dragons. But just a few isn't really enough to speed up the game. That unless you put in enough to where the game seems like it's going somewhere, you're not really getting much of a speed up in anything. And I think they did actually buff the healing effects of some dragons and nerf some other ones, because now when Cloudjumper uses his healing effect, it doesn't get the added shield for every dragon anymore, it only gets the shield for Cloudjumper. So they kind of nerfed that a little bit, like I'll show you right now since I actually have enough for it. I do have the sound effects turned off, by the way. The sound effects got a little annoying for this game. But you'll see now that Cloudjumper is the only one who gets a defense buff anymore. And that's kind of nice that they kind of made it to where Cloudjumper isn't as overpowered as he used to be. But we still see that the evasion is actually working. And it actually did get buffed, that the evasion feature actually did get a little bit of a raise in its effectiveness. And I can actually use the shield again, so I'm going to, because my Skrill's about to die. But then you'll see we're on wave 3, and there is actually a benefit to beating all 3 waves, or all 3 attacks. Wow, I am strong against nothing here. That's going to do absolutely nothing. But after you win however many rounds there are, there's actually a prize at the end of each round that you can actually get something from a random lottery wheel. So it's like, it's kind of like the packs, but it's an actual like lottery wheel. That there's resources, card packs, token packs, and I think there's actually a few dragons that you can actually get from them. I don't know about the dragon part for sure, but I think there actually are a few that you can get. Also, they made it to where if a healing attack hits the opponent, but misses, it still heals you. So like with my with my Storm Cutter, how it just almost missed every single thing, that I still got the heal from it. And that's kind of nice that they're still making it to where the effects are kind of going off all the time. But again, that makes it kind of slow, that if they made the effects not work if the attack missed, then that would be kind of a better idea. But I think they actually just implement that for when the attack is harmful to your opponent. But again, it would be a good idea if they implemented that to your side as well, where if you missed an attack that would have given you a beneficial effect, you shouldn't get the beneficial effect. And I kind of wish, well, I don't know if there is, but I kind of wish there was like a competitive feature in this as well, that if you beat all of the levels, or you could actually just go up against someone and have like 3 teams and just go up against their dragons, that would be really cool. You could have like 3 dragons just go up against each other and then just send in 3 more and see who wins, like a best 2 out of 3 kind of thing. And then we see, here's the lottery we all was talking about. So I've actually gotten the rare pack, but you can see you can also get the legendary pack and the token pack at the edge of the screen right there. You can see the little gold wrappings. And again, it is a lottery wheel that you kind of have to tap to spin. Wow, the lag. I didn't even see it start. Okay, so we got 75 million wood. That wasn't really that great. But you can actually see we're 57% complete. And when you get 100%, you get this little armor wing egg. And I don't know what it is, but it's like a green grayish coloration, or a green kind of rustish coloration. And I like that. I kind of want to actually see what that dragon is. And I don't know if there will be like a special egg for every stage, because I think after the initiation there is actually a kind of defense stage where you have to kind of defend against attacking people. And it's set up the same way, that it's like a bunch of levels, one after another. And that is cool. And as you go on, the levels for that actually do increase, so they kind of make it challenging as you go on, so you can't just always win instantly. Like, I know I've lost a few times, at least. But anyway, that's basically it for all that they updated. I don't think they put in any new dragons, or at least I'm pretty sure they haven't, because they really have kind of gone overboard with the dragons a little bit. I don't really think that there's anything else. Again, I did actually manage to get the premium skrill. Yeah, there isn't really anything else. I'm still not at level 80 yet. I haven't reached level 80 with anything, which is kind of sad to me, because I really want to get to level 80 so I can at least try and get through the battle. But I know I'm not gonna, so I might as well save my breath. That I'm gonna have to be level 100 before I can even make any progress. But they did introduce a few new dragons for like exclusives and events and all that, but then they always do that, and there's not really anything new in the searchable section. There's not really anything new in the collection. I did actually get the Buffalo Lord, so that's something. And I did get the Shovel Helm as well, which is a level 95 dragon. You have to be level 95 to get it. So that's actually really cool. I did actually get a lot of dragons past Toothless's level now. But yeah, they didn't really implement anything new in the search feature. They did throw in a few new unique dragons, but they have been going and giving out a lot of the old uniques as well. That right now, there's a feature in the collection where you can get Toothless's rival. I obviously can't get it because I already have it. But you can actually get him right now. I don't know for how long. I think it's like 24 hours left. But since it's not in my collection, I can't see it because I already have it. But anyway, that's basically it for what they updated. They didn't update any of the collections either. They all take still kind of the same amount of effort. They didn't update really any of the stats for the dragons that we go into defense. And the dragons all still kind of have the same stats. Toothless did get buffed back up, though. That Toothless is now at 811, and everyone else is still below him. And I kind of like that, because it's maintaining the kind of lore around Toothless that he's the strongest dragon, which is actually true, because he beat up like 15 million dragons that were stronger than him. But again, they still do have this kind of button layout, which I kind of don't like. Again, I would like it if all the buttons were just at the bottom or at the side, but I would like it more if they were all just like at the bottom. That layout would seem more pleasing. And instead of the card pack actually being up here now, they did move it into the market. So we see I open the market, and then we got fish, wood, runes, Vikings, the coins. But then we also have the card packs right here, so it's not up here anymore, so it's freeing up a little bit of space. So I like that. Again, I do really wish they would have put this stuff down here, or if they would have like merged the Berk Defenders and the Brawl thing kind of together into one button, and then you tapped it and it could select, like with the Legendaries or the Riders. That would have been a lot more effective, and it would have taken up a lot less space. But I like it. I do like the update they put in the game. I do like the new features, and it actually did, I think, I don't know what I was going to say, but I think they did actually lower the amount of time it takes for training, because a lot of it seem to take a little less time to train. You'll see, like, the Triple Strike has only got 11 hours left on it, and I think when I sent that in, it was only taking 21 hours, and it used to be that he would take a day and 6 hours. So, I think they actually did shorten that, but other than that, there's pretty much nothing new. Very few, like, extra dragons introduced. Very few extra features other than that, and the extended calendar. But anyway, that's going to be it for Dragon's Rise of Berk update in July. Again, they didn't really update this for seasonal, they kind of just updated it for the anniversary or whatever, I don't know. I think the anniversary of this was actually 3 years ago, that I think How to Train Your Dragon 2 came out in 2014, and then this came out in July, a few months after. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to leave this video here before I drone on any longer. I know I've been going on a lot, sorry, but I absolutely love this game, so you can expect a lot of gushing over it from me. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. If you guys liked it, you can slap the like button as always, and I will see you guys later.